Welcome to another Tiny Tuesday. I'm Christy here at My Artful Adventures, and today our craft scene involves a very suspicious group of businesses that recently appeared in our town. So we have a flower shop, bookstore, bakery, several other establishments under investigation. My working theory is that at least one of them is about to become a hidden paperclip. So let's check that out. If you follow me, you probably know that we do all kinds of things with tiny buildings and villages and all kinds of things like that. I love them. And I've got this new paper here, this new page that I've actually made available to you at no cost, and the link is down in the description. We need some paper clips, and so just plain old paper clips, and I'm going to make a strip of paper. I've even got those cut out for us today. So I've cut these out. I've inked some around the edges just to make them stand out a little bit better. And I've cut some strips of paper. What I like to do is I like to take the paper and cut it. These were 12 by 12 pieces from some scrapbook paper. So I like to have them a little bit wider of these. Now, if you wanted to take this page and you wanted some smaller images, when you get ready to print it out, you can just decrease the ratio or the percentage that it prints out on your paper, and then you can have some smaller images if you want. These are just a nice size to cut out, and so what I like to do, and we need to start, I like to see, which side I want to, put them on, how I like it with the color or whatever. Here's some darker ones over here. Just play around and decide where you like it. I really like it like this because it really shows up better. But we need this to be facing this direction like this, and I'm not going to glue that on right now. And then all we've got to do is just fold it like this, so we've got enough room. And if, depending on what you want to do with it, if you want to poke it up here past the top, you could do that. But you have to remember that inside, when we put our paper clip on, it's only going to go so far down over a page. I think I said I wasn't going to glue it yet. I don't know why I wouldn't glue it. So let's just go ahead and put some glue on here and just stick it down. And you can see this is going to be kind of large, but these would be perfect for to add as kind of an embellishment in a junk journal if you wanted to do that. I'm just going to press that there. Now we're going to fold this down. And you want to leave some, I like to leave some up here. There are several ways that you can make these. There's not really a single right or wrong way. And then I just fold this up. Now, when I fold this up to meet up here at the top, that is going to, well, I didn't get that paper isn't even. Sometimes it's not going to be exactly even on this side. And that really doesn't matter, because when you make these and you put it over something with your clip, you're not going to see both sides at the same time anyway, right? And if you want to make it and just, round the corners a little bit, you could just even take your scissors and do it. You can take one of these corner rounders and snip the edges. I sometimes like to do that because then it just makes it, well, those sharp little corners don't catch so much on everything. That's kind of how I think about it. So now we got to get our paper clip in. And one of the things that I like to do is to just put some glue across here, and that way it can kind of catch your paper clip. It doesn't really matter which way you put it on here. Oh, I should have put some on the other side too. Just go squiggle a little bit in here. And the kind of glue I use, when that dries, it will help catch that in there. But in the meantime, until all of that dries, you might even want to just put a little bit of tape on it to help secure it in place. And now all you've got to do is just add your glue. And depending on how far up this part comes, you might need to glue, that as well, right? This one is not going to go that far because I've got it sticking up like this. And same here. Now this one I'm just going to go ahead and put all around my edge here, and this way it's going to get the top of the first part up here, the front, and then just give it a good press, everywhere. And now you're just free to decorate these however you want. Now I see this isn't quite even here. I mean, there's all kinds of things. Now, if I'm going to use this in a book, I probably want it more flat. I don't want a lot of dimension on it if I'm just using it in a regular book, right? If I'm going to use it in a junk journal, I might not mind having, you know, more dimension. So here's my, this is just a little planner thing that I used and covered the front. But, you know, you stick that on. Now, because I left so much room up here, you can see how much it extends. So if you don't want to do that, then you want to make sure that you don't leave that much at the top. So, you know, there's so many ways that you can do it, but these are just, you know, a fun little thing to have. You can use some, you know, I wouldn't even begin to tell you all the ways that you could decorate these because there's just so many, right? So let's make another one real quick. I mean, it's just all up to you. There's just, oh, just so many ways. You know, I think, yeah, but you need the top edge. You're going to want to always put this at the top edge of your paper, right? Because then that, because you need, you know, it's not going to be at a folded edge. So you need this to be at the edge. Now, if you wanted to do something and add like a little bit of a dangle or something on it as well, like this is, I can get that on there very straight. One of the things you can do is you can fold this and make sure that your paper clip sticks up just a tiny bit out of the top. And that way you've got a place that you can, you know, clip something on it, and then that makes a real fun thing. And so when you do that, you don't need as much of this folded down because that's going to be able to have your paper clip sticking out at the top. Just that tiny bit. And you don't want to push it down all the way either. And I could have, let me redo that a little bit. Or not. I wanted it up a little bit farther, but all you have to do if you're going to do that is just make sure it doesn't go all the way down. And again, that's another reason to, as you glue the paper clip and the other section. Now see, this one, when you fold it, when you put your paper clear up to the top, you're going to have a bigger section back here of a gap between the edge of this back, the bottom edge of this back piece and the bottom edge of the front piece. But that's really not going to matter. Like I said, you're not going to see them at the same time anyway. But then what happens is this is basically the fold you are making for these. It looks like a W, and that's how you want that long strip folded, is in a W, to make sure that this works. And so if we're going to do this, let's go ahead and put our glue, let's squiggle some glue back on again. That'll just help it as it dries. But you know, it's going to be contained, right? It's going to be contained in here. And then I'm going to leave that sticking up, put my piece of tape on so it stays until it's dry. And I mean, there you can put the tape on both sides if you want. It doesn't really matter. And now we're just going to seal around all the edges. And just a quick, whoops, just a quick little bit of glue. But there's just no end to the ways that you could decorate this. And certainly for, you know, junk journals and things like that, to make this and use it as an embellishment, then you've got a lot of fun things that you can do and, you know, add some dimension to it. But like I said, you know, I like to give you the basic techniques and ideas and let you decide, you know, how you're going to decorate it and finish it off. Because none of us have the same, you know, supplies like that. We just don't. And so this makes it to where we really, you know, can have fun and come together and do this. My little glue thing popped off of there. I gotta get that back on. Those little needle nose things just dry out so quickly. Oh, that didn't make a good cut. Well, you know what? Sometimes plain old scissors work just as well or better. To make just make a little curve, and nobody's going to be measuring the, you know, the curvature of this item and tell you that was not exact. They just aren't. I can tell you that. And then if you're going to do those, I don't even think I did this on the other one, when I do the back side too. But this helps, I think, having them rounded a little bit just makes it easier. They don't tend to catch so much on things. Yeah, see, I didn't do this one. Let's do that one real quick. But you can just, you know, make these, and they're quick to make, and you can just, you know, put some in your stash. So I hope that you've enjoyed this idea for Tiny Tuesday today. And like I said, if you want a sheet of the little buildings so that you can play along too, the description, the link is down in the description. So a little book nook. So I think that you get, and I'm always wanting to put this down here at the bottom of my you know, paper, so the edge is at the bottom, because you know, you just kind of tend to want to do that, and I was like, oh no, that's not right, you know. But now this one, I like it on that pink though. I like that a lot. I think I'm going to put it there. And then if you've got your strips cut straight, all you got to do is just fold them up just like that, and it just is as quick as that. And then just do a little thing like this. Now, if you can get it bent right. So again, you're just making that little W shape and then getting your paper clip in there, and then you're all set. You can just glue it on, and there you go. There you have it. And we'll just go ahead and put a little more glue in here. And you might even put more glue around the paper clip than I've been putting. It just helps seal that paper down closer to it, right? I probably haven't been doing that since I put that piece of tape across. But you certainly could on, you know, on these other sides. Just put, you know, put as much glue as you want. Especially if you got the glue supply, use the glue. I didn't even put the little bookstore on there yet. Let's get our bookstore on. Anyway, just something fun and easy and cute to use. So if you like little buildings as much as I do, you might want to make some of these. All right, and that's it. If you have enjoyed this little project, and I hope that you'll give it a like and give me a follow so you can know other times that I have things come available. So that's it for this week's Tiny Tuesday. See you next time. Bye-bye.